Hello, my fellow mathematician. Welcome to the study of complex line integral. We are going to integrate this complex line integral from 0 to 1 minus I along the line z is equal to 0 and z is equal to 1 minus I. So we are going to let our z to be equal to x plus iy. Then we differentiate z with respect to x to get dz is equal to dx plus I dy. Then at c is equal to 0, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, and x is equal to 1, and y is equal to negative 1. So our line has these 2 points, 0, and 1, negative 1. So using these 2 points, we obtain the gradient, which is given by change in y, negative 1 minus 0 divided by change in x, that is 1 minus 1. And so negative 1 minus 0 is negative 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. When you do that, we are going to obtain our gradient, negative 1. Our gradient is equal to negative 1. Then we choose any arbitrary point x, y. We get our gradient. Gradient is given by change in y, which is y minus 1 will be plus 1, divided by x minus 1, which is equal to gradient, which you have obtained here to be negative 1. Then cross multiplying, you are going to have y is equal to x minus x plus 1 minus 1, taking this 1 the other side. So y is equal to negative x. Then differentiating this, both sides we have dx dy is equal to negative dx. So our line integral becomes from 0 to 1 and from 0 to negative 1, bracket 3x squared minus iy into bracket dx plus I dy. So we make the substitution. Instead of dy, we substitute it with negative dx, and instead of y, we substitute it with negative x. And when you do that, we are going to obtain 3x minus I, then y is negative x from this fact here, and our dy is equivalent to negative dx. That's what we obtain. Then because dx is common here, we can factor it out. Factoring dx, we are going to be left with the 1 minus I. Then 1 minus I is constant. We can take it outside the integral sign. Is a constant, we can take it outside the integral sign to obtain integral from 0 to 1 of 3x squared plus I dx. So integrate this piecewise or termwise. We integrate 3x squared. When we integrate 3x squared, we are going to obtain x cubic divided by 3. So this 3 will cancel. That is why we are left here with x cubic. When we integrate x, we are going to get x squared. We shall obtain x squared over 2. Then we substitute the boundary. Substituting the boundary, instead of x cubic, we substitute it with 1. 1 cubic is 1. Instead of x squared, we substitute it with 1, 1. Then 1 squared is 1. So 1 times I is I. Then we remove the bracket, we will have 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times I over 2 is I over 2. Negative 1, negative I times 1 will give us negative I. And the negative I times I will give us negative y squared. Negative I squared is negative, so negative and negative will cancel, so we will have plus that. So here we have a half plus 1 will give us 3 over 2. And then we have I over 2 minus I will give us negative I over 2. So that is how we obtain the answer. So the answer of our line complex integral from 0 to all the way 1 minus I is given by 3 over 2 minus I over 2. So that is how you obtain the solution. And thanks so much for taking your time to study with me. on that simple complex line integral which we have obtained using simple method steps. For more such learning, kindly tune on to my YouTube channel so that we may keep on learning together. In case you have any question, any query, any suggestion, remember to comment on the comment below. Also remember to subscribe to this channel if you have not yet subscribed so that you may continue learning together with me. And any other area of mathematics which you want me to tackle, kindly feel free to suggest, and I'm going to tackle it for us as we keep on learning and simplifying mathematics. Remember also to share this content with the other mathematician so that we may learn together. Bye bye. See you in the next video as we learn together complex maths and the other field of mathematics.